Many Christians are not ready for what's about to happen. Not because they don't love God. Not because they don't believe in Jesus. But because they've grown numb to the times we're living in. They've gotten used to tomorrow looking the same as today. They've stopped watching. They've stopped listening. But heaven has issued an alert. Tomorrow, yes, tomorrow, something is coming that will shock everyone. And only those who are awake in the Spirit will be prepared. This is a message straight from the heart of God, and you were led here for a reason. The Lord has been speaking. But many of His children are too busy to listen. Too entangled in the world to discern His whispers. Too distracted by temporary pleasures to see the eternal signs. In Matthew 24, Jesus told us to watch. To stay alert. To discern the signs of the times. But the truth is, many Christians are spiritually asleep. They attend church, but their hearts are far from God. They post scriptures, but don't live them. They pray only when there's a crisis. And they've forgotten what it means to be set apart. But God is shaking things. He's shifting the atmosphere. A divine interruption is coming. And it's closer than you think. Tomorrow isn't just another day on the calendar. It is a prophetic marker. A moment where heaven and earth will collide in a way no one saw coming. Doors will suddenly close. Other doors will unexpectedly open. Hidden truths will be revealed. Exposures will come to light. And what has been done in secret will be shouted from the rooftops. Some will rejoice. Others will tremble. And now, God is calling His modern-day Noahs to prepare. To pray. To cleanse their hearts. To leave behind what no longer serves their assignment. To be fully surrendered. Because what's coming will require spiritual maturity, discernment, and courage. You don't have time to delay anymore. You don't have time to play lukewarm. You don't have time to put off what God has called you to do. The time is now. The shaking is already happening. And tomorrow will bring a shock, but those who are anchored in Christ will not be moved. So, ask yourself, is your house built on the rock? Is your heart truly surrendered? Are you walking in holiness, or just blending in with the world? Because Jesus is coming for a bride that is ready, not perfect, but purified. Not popular, but positioned. Not loud, but loyal. This is your invitation to return to your first love. To fall on your face in worship. To ask the Holy Spirit to burn away the things that don't belong. To be filled with fresh fire for what's ahead. Because what God is about to do will shock the world. But it won't surprise those who are watching and waiting. If this message stirred something in you, don't ignore it. Take it to prayer. Share it with someone who needs to wake up. And most of all, stay ready, because the Lord is moving, and tomorrow will not look like today. You also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect Him. 111. This is your divine green light. Your thoughts are aligning with the energy of creation, and God is breathing life into your desires. Stay focused. The doors are opening now because your faith made room for the miracle. Type yes 111 if you receive this shift. 222. You are not waiting, you are being prepared. Heaven is orchestrating every detail in your favor. Just because it's silent doesn't mean nothing's happening. You're being planted, not buried. Type yes 222 if you trust divine timing. 333. The Holy Trinity surrounds you. Divine order is unfolding even when chaos tries to distract you. You're not alone. Jesus, the Father, and the Holy Spirit are walking with you. Stay in alignment. Type yes 333 if you believe God is working all things for your good. 555. Big shifts are happening. What once blocked you is now being removed. Be willing to release the old to receive what's far greater. Change is not punishment, it's preparation. Type yes 555 if you're ready for your breakthrough. God's silence is not rejection. It's a divine setup. He's not ignoring you, He's arranging everything behind the scenes. Sometimes, when God is the most quiet, He's the most active. And when the time is right, what you thought was forgotten will suddenly appear, and it will be better than you imagined. The enemy wants you to believe that your waiting season is punishment, that your struggle is a result of something you failed to do. But let me cancel that lie right now. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Just like Joseph, who was thrown into a pit, betrayed by his brothers, and falsely imprisoned, your journey may look like a setback, but it's actually a divine setup. God uses the pit to promote. He uses the prison to prepare. He uses the pain to reveal purpose. And when you finally stand where He's taking you, you'll realize every detour had a design. The miracle you're praying for? It's not just about you. It's about every person watching you endure, persevere, and rise. It's about the people who will hear your testimony and say, your tears will water someone else's breakthrough. Your scars will speak louder than sermons. Your survival will be someone else's instruction manual. You're not just being delivered, you're being commissioned. Commissioned to carry the hope of heaven into places where darkness once reigned. You're being entrusted with a testimony that will shatter fear and rebuild faith. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it cost you something. Yes, it felt like the breaking would be the end of you. But this is not your end. This is the beginning of a story that only God could write. The grief was real, but the glory will be greater. The loss was heavy, but the restoration will be holy. God will give you beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, praise for the spirit of heaviness. You think no one sees you, that all your prayers, sacrifices, sleepless nights, and surrendered dreams have gone unnoticed. But let me reassure you, heaven keeps perfect records. God has not forgotten one single tear, not one act of faithfulness, not one time you obeyed when it cost you everything. Your name is written in His hand. Your story is being penned in divine ink. And when it's time, not your time, but God's time, you'll see the pages turn and the breakthrough arrive. That God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. That means that the miracle you've been waiting for? It's just the beginning. God doesn't just answer prayers, He overanswers them. He pours out more grace, more favor, more purpose than you knew to ask for. Because He's not bound by your limitations. He's not restricted by what you think is possible. Who turns loaves and fish into feasts? Who turns water into wine? Who turns broken people into bold witnesses? There will come a moment, suddenly, when what you've been praying for will collide with God's perfect timing. And when it does, no one will be able to deny that it was the hand of God. Because God is about to interrupt your timeline with supernatural alignment. You may feel like you're barely hanging on, like your grip is slipping and your strength is fading. But the truth is, you're not holding it all together. God is holding you. He is your anchor in the storm. your fortress in the battle, your peace in the waiting. You don't have to understand it all. You just have to trust that the one who holds the stars is also holding your story. The very prayer you're whispering today will become the song you shout tomorrow. What feels impossible today will become a story of divine intervention tomorrow. You may not see it yet, but it's already in motion. Because the God who promised is faithful. And He never starts something He doesn't finish. You're entering a season where things that were working against you will begin to work for you. The Red Sea that looked like a barrier will become the very thing that drowns your enemies. The same grave that held you will become the stage for your resurrection. The very thing that tried to silence you will become the reason people listen. Because God is flipping the script, rewriting the narrative, reversing the verdict. And when He does it, it'll be so clear, so bold, so miraculous, that everyone around you will know, God did this. The miracle you've been praying for is already in the works. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not overlooked. You are beloved. You are chosen. You are anointed for this moment. And when the appointed time comes, your story will not just be a story of survival, it will be a story of revival. It's easy to think that we're waiting for the blessing, but often, the blessing is waiting for us. God sees the desires of your heart. He knows what you've been asking for behind closed doors and quiet moments with trembling faith. And He is not withholding to punish, He is preparing to release what you are ready to receive. 666. This isn't a number to fear, it's a divine nudge to return to balance. Let go of worldly worries and seek first the kingdom. You're being called back to spiritual alignment. Type yes 666 if you're realigning with divine truth. 777. This is your confirmation, you are on the right path. Keep moving forward in faith, not fear. What you've prayed for is already moving toward you. Type yes 777 if you feel the shift. 888. A financial breakthrough is on the way. The seeds you planted are coming full circle. Keep your hands open to receive what you've been asking God for. Abundance is chasing you down. Type yes 888 if you're ready for divine increase. 999. Completion is here. God is wrapping up what no longer serves you so something new can begin. Don't be afraid to let go. What's coming is far greater. Type yes 999 if you're releasing and stepping into newness. 1010. God is giving you double clarity and divine instruction. Pay attention to your inner voice, He's guiding your next step. Divine doors are about to swing open. Type yes 1010 if you're ready to walk in wisdom. 1212. Miracles are aligning behind the scenes. Angels are making room for what you've been carrying in your spirit. Keep the faith, your blessing has your name on it. Type yes 1212 if you're ready to see it manifest. 1313. You're entering a season of divine rebuilding. God tore it down so He could rebuild it His way. Don't fear the construction zone, trust the architect. Type yes 1313 if you're trusting God's blueprint. 1414. New foundations are forming. What you're building now is blessed and unshakable. Keep your focus on faith, not fear. Type yes 1414 if you're ready to lay down bricks of purpose. 1515. God is flipping the script. What was meant to break you will now bless you. Watch how He turns your pain into power and your rejection into redirection. Type yes 1515 if you are expecting the unexpected. 1616. Protection is surrounding you. Even when you don't see it, you're covered by divine grace. Keep moving, you're not walking alone. Type yes 1616 if you believe angels are guarding your steps. 1717. You are being positioned for purpose. God is not random, He is strategic. Every delay is part of His design. You're closer than you think. Type yes 1717 if you trust the divine setup. 1818. An anointing of overflow is being released. Spiritually, emotionally, and financially, God is increasing your capacity to receive. Type yes 1818 if you're ready for more than enough. 1919. Your story is shifting. God is writing a new chapter. What looked like an ending is really a beautiful beginning. Type yes 1919 if you're ready to turn the page. 2020. Clarity is coming. God is correcting your vision and clearing out the fog. You will soon see why things had to happen the way they did. Type yes 2020 if you're seeing through the eyes of faith. 2121. Your prayers have been heard. Heaven has not forgotten you. Be patient, answers are being delivered right on time. Type yes 2121 if you're ready to receive what you prayed for. 2222. Divine harmony is being restored. Relationships, finances, and dreams are being realigned by God's hand. Watch how peace finds its way back to you. Type yes 2222 if you're ready for balance and blessings. 2323. God is about to blow your mind. What's coming will exceed your expectations. Stay faithful, because your obedience is unlocking overflow. Type yes 2323 if you're open to divine surprises. 2424. Heaven is working overtime on your behalf. This is your reassurance, you haven't missed anything. What's meant for you is still on its way. Type yes 2424 if you're standing in faith and patience. 2525. Massive transformation is here. Don't cling to your comfort zone. The shift is necessary. Trust the stretch, it's elevating you. Type yes 2525 if you're stepping into your higher self. 2626. God is calling you to rise. Shake off the dust. Your gifts are needed, and your voice matters. Step out in bold faith. Type yes 2626 if you're answering the call. 2727. Hidden things are being revealed. The truth will no longer be hidden. What's done in secret is coming to light to bring healing, not harm. Type yes 2727 if you're ready for divine revelation. 2828. God is opening a door that no one can shut. What you thought was denied is actually being redirected towards something greater. Type yes 2828 if you're ready for unstoppable favor. 2929. Cycles are breaking. Generational curses end with you. Your obedience is creating freedom for your entire bloodline. Type yes 2929 if you're walking in healing and victory. 3030. This is a divine reminder. God multiplies what you give Him. Your surrender will birth supernatural results. Let go of control and watch heaven move. Type yes 3030 if you're surrendering it all to God. 3131. Get ready for divine restoration. God is giving back everything the enemy tried to steal. This is your season of reclaiming what is rightfully yours. Type yes 3131 if you're receiving restoration and recompense. 3232. You're being elevated. Don't shrink to fit in places you've outgrown. God is promoting you to new dimensions. Type yes 3232 if you're ready to rise higher. You may be wondering why certain prayers have not been answered yet. Why promises whispered in your spirit years ago have not fully come to pass. Why you feel stuck in a place that doesn't reflect what God has spoken over your life. But let this word settle deep in your spirit today. You have not missed it. You haven't missed the season. You haven't missed the opportunity. You haven't failed too greatly. You haven't waited too long. Everything you need to walk into your divine promise is still on schedule. God has a calendar that you cannot see. His timeline is orchestrated with wisdom far beyond your understanding. And He doesn't make mistakes. Heaven doesn't operate on human deadlines. It operates on destiny. And destiny never arrives early or late, it arrives right on time. God uses the waiting room to shape warriors. The delay isn't punishment, it's preparation. Sometimes what you thought was a setback was actually a sacred pause to get you ready. The promise hasn't been canceled, it's just under construction. He is refining you, teaching you endurance, molding your character, exposing hidden motives, strengthening your spirit, and most of all, deepening your trust. Because the truth is, what's coming will require more maturity, more wisdom, more discernment, and more obedience than the season you're in now. God is growing your capacity to carry the weight of the blessing. Don't despise the wait. Embrace it as the sacred hallway between prophecy and fulfillment. God's promises are not abstract poetry or wishful thinking. They are appointments. Divine declarations that already have timestamps in the spiritual realm. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it's not already on its way. Just like a seed planted in the earth, the promise begins to grow before it becomes visible. Something is always happening underground, beneath the surface of your understanding. Every word God has spoken over your life, every whisper in the midnight hour, every vision, every prophetic confirmation, every dream has a designated time. And that time is approaching. You may not know the hour, but the heavens do. Many of God's chosen ones had to wait. Abraham waited decades for the promise of Isaac. Joseph waited years in a prison cell for a dream that didn't lie. David waited in caves, hunted and hated, before he sat on the throne. Sometimes, God hides you for your protection. Sometimes, He delays the promise to expose those around you who can't go where He's taking you. And sometimes, He delays the door because what's on the other side is greater than you could ever ask or imagine. You are not being overlooked. You are being refined. You are not being forgotten. You are being positioned. Patience is not just about waiting. It's about how you wait. Will you wait in fear and frustration? Or will you wait in faith and worship? God is moved by faith, not anxiety. He's moved by trust, not tantrums. Your praise in the waiting room is a weapon. It announces to hell and heaven, I believe even when I don't see it. Faith praises before the walls fall. Faith thanks God before the healing. Faith celebrates the answer before the door opens. Why? Because faith knows the God who promised is the God who performs. Lift your voice. Worship through the silence. Praise through the delay. Because your song today will carry you into your testimony tomorrow. Even when you feel like you've drifted. Even when you've stumbled. Even when life has taken detours you didn't see coming, God is still directing your path. You are not disqualified. You are not too far gone. You are not outside the will of God. The GPS of heaven has recalculated, and you're still on the path to promise. Every wrong turn, every tear, every delay, every betrayal, every closed door, it's all working together. All things are being woven into alignment for your good. Romans 8 verse 28. God is too wise to be mistaken, too good to be cruel, too faithful to lie. Whatever He promised you, it still belongs to you. He doesn't revoke promises because of your pain. He doesn't cancel callings because of your confusion. He doesn't strip destiny because of detours. God doesn't write you off when you mess up. He writes you into the story again with more power and grace. You didn't miss your moment. You are being prepared for it. God hasn't changed His mind about you. What if the delay is not about the promise itself, but about your response? God watches how you respond when nothing seems to be working. He watches how you respond when others get what you've been praying for. He watches how you steward this season, not because He's testing you to punish you, but because He wants to trust you with more. The promise may be big, but your preparation must be bigger. If you can't handle being overlooked, you won't survive being elevated. You will not remember the pain of this season when you're standing in the overflow of God's promise. He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. God doesn't start stories without finishing them. He doesn't light a spark in your heart just to let it burn out. He doesn't give you a dream and then abandon it. He is the author and the finisher. Even when the middle of your story feels messy, confusing, and slow, remember who holds the pen. He is writing something beautiful, something eternal, something redemptive. The same God who wrote Genesis is also writing your next chapter. Let Him finish it. You don't need to force what is ordained. You don't need to beg for what's already yours. You don't need to manipulate, strive, or fear. When God says, it's time, everything will align. When it's time, no demon in hell can stop it. No enemy can block it. No mistake can cancel it. God has a divine appointment with your name on it, and it's still coming. The sun doesn't ask permission to rise. It just does when it's time. And so will your promise. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to understand the how. Just trust the who, the God who spoke it. Everything will be beautiful in His perfect timing. You haven't missed the things He has spoken over you. Every word, every promise has a date. And it's still coming to you. Stay faithful. Stay expectant. Stay ready. This is not a lonely season, even if it feels like one. You are not stuck in the dark without direction. You are not wandering blindly. You are not forsaken. God is with you in the waiting. He is sitting with you in the quiet places, holding you through the nights you can't sleep, strengthening your hands when you're too tired to keep building, whispering peace to your spirit when all you see is stillness. He hasn't stepped away. In fact, He's closer now than you realize. Your season of waiting is holy ground because He is present in it. When God delays something, it's not to deprive you. It's to increase what's coming. Sometimes He makes you wait longer because what He's about to deliver will be so powerful, so precise, and so transformational that it will change your entire life in one moment. Don't let the time it's taking convince you it's not worth it. Because when it arrives, it will answer questions you didn't even know you were asking. It will heal parts of you didn't know were hurting. The size of your delay is often a reflection of the size of your destiny. You may see others being promoted before you. People stepping into the very spaces you've been praying about. Doors opening for them while yours remain closed. And it can hurt. But don't compare timelines. Your calling isn't like theirs. Your path isn't like theirs. Your training, your process, your preparation is unique. And your elevation, when it comes, will be undeniable. When God lifts you, no one can claim it was man-made. No one will be able to say it was luck. It will be clear that the Lord Himself opened the door. Let them go ahead. Yours is greater, and it's coming right on time. David was hidden in a field. Joseph was hidden in a prison. Moses was hidden in the desert. Esther was hidden in the palace before her unveiling. Even Jesus was hidden for 30 years before His public ministry. Being hidden isn't rejection, it's protection. God hides you when the world isn't ready for you yet. He hides you when the attack on your destiny would be too great if you were revealed too soon. He hides you to preserve your purpose. You are not overlooked. You are being reserved. A word from God doesn't get old. It doesn't get dusty. It doesn't expire with time. If He spoke it, it's eternal. It still carries the same power, the same weight, and the same potential as the day He first said it. Even if it's been years, don't throw the word away. It's not dead. It's just maturing. The word is growing as you grow. The fulfillment is aligning with your assignment. And when the two meet, it will explode with manifestation. Keep the prophecy in front of you. Keep declaring it. Keep standing on it. Because God doesn't forget what He says. Satan knows you're close. That's why the warfare has intensified. That's why the discouragement seems heavier. That's why the confusion is stronger. That's why people are falling off and distractions are increasing. It's all a plot to break your focus and steal your faith right before your breakthrough. Don't give in. Now is not the time to bow to doubt. Now is not the time to curse your promise. Now is not the time to shrink back. Now is the time to fight with the word, with worship, with prayer, with praise, with persistence. Because if the enemy is fighting you this hard, it's a sign that you're closer than you think. Some of you have been misunderstood, laughed at, judged, rejected. Others said, if God really promised that, where is it? And it has hurt. But listen, God will vindicate you. When the promise comes to pass, those same people will be forced to acknowledge the hand of God on your life. What He does will be so public, so undeniable, so perfectly timed, that no one will be able to take the credit but Him. He is preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. You may not realize it yet, but you've just crossed a spiritual threshold. The kind that doesn't always come with loud announcements or grand displays, but one that shifts everything underneath the surface. You woke up today with clarity, not because everything suddenly made sense, but because your spirit bore witness to something divine. An answer has arrived. You didn't expect it to look like this. It was rough, wrapped in discomfort, unexpected timing, and unfamiliar instruction. But don't mistake the way it came for a sign that it's not from God. This answer didn't show up to make you feel good, it showed up to make you move. Because your prayer was never about comfort. It was about promise. You didn't ask for easy, you asked for breakthrough. And now that it's here, the path forward demands something deeper than what you've ever given before. It requires radical obedience. This isn't the time to second guess what God is doing. You've asked for the promise to manifest. You've cried out for purpose, for alignment, for clarity. You wanted your life to count for something eternal. Well, heaven heard you. And the answer wasn't delayed. It was prepared. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are right on time for the promise. The instructions may not make logical sense. They might require walking away from something you thought you needed. They may stretch your understanding, challenge your comfort zones, and confront your ego. But understand this: God doesn't lead you in circles. He leads you in covenant. And covenant always leads to fulfillment. He is leading you into the land He spoke over you before you were born. The place of rest, of overflow, of impact, of inheritance. But the road to the promise is paved with obedience, especially the kind that doesn't feel fair or make sense. Look at the patterns in Scripture. Moses had to obey God even when Pharaoh refused to listen. Noah had to obey God even when there was no sign of rain. Joshua had to obey God by walking around walls instead of fighting. Mary had to obey God by saying yes to something impossible. Jesus obeyed, even unto death. The promise always costs something. It costs comfort. It costs certainty. It costs the approval of people who don't understand your calling. But what you receive in return is far greater than anything you'll leave behind. You'll receive peace that can't be shaken. Provision that doesn't make sense. Purpose that sets generations free. And intimacy with the Father that fills every void. This moment in your life is not random. Heaven has been arranging the details behind the scenes. The strange transitions, the sudden shifts, the closed doors, they were all part of the journey. God's plan didn't fail. It's unfolding. And now that you've reached this point, He's asking something sacred from you: your trust. Not in the plan, not in the timing, not in the result, but in Him. You may have thought obedience meant understanding, but it means surrender. You might have thought entering the promise would feel like arriving, but it feels like stretching. Because before the land is possessed, the heart must be prepared. God is preparing you to walk into something so big, so beautiful, and so full of His glory that it cannot be carried with the baggage of yesterday. You have to let go of what was to fully receive what is. Some relationships won't cross over with you. Some opportunities won't fit where you're going. Some ways of thinking can't exist in the new place. And it will hurt. But it's holy. Don't mourn the things God removed. Trust that what He's building in you is worth more. You're stepping into a season of divine strategy. Not everything will be revealed at once. You won't get the full blueprint up front. You will get the next instruction. And that's enough. This is the season of walking with God, not running ahead of Him. Let Him order your steps, one at a time. Obey even when the steps feel small. Because small steps in God's direction lead to big breakthroughs. Obedience opens doors you don't even know exist yet. It activates the promises that were written in eternity. It aligns your life with divine timing. It releases angels on assignment. It shifts atmospheres around you. There are things you've been praying for that will not be unlocked by striving, they will be unlocked by surrender. The answer to your next level is not do more. Yes, the way forward might feel narrow. But narrow paths lead to wide places. And when God leads you through the narrow, He's not punishing you, He's preparing you. Because what's waiting on the other side is too heavy for the version of you that hasn't been refined. This season is about becoming, not just receiving. Becoming the person who can carry the calling. Becoming the vessel who can hold the vision. Becoming the warrior who can fight the battle and still keep your heart soft. Becoming the son or daughter who trusts even when the answer hurts. And here's the truth, the answer did come. You just didn't expect it to come through closed doors, tension, or tears. But it's here. It's happening. And it's holy. Don't look for it in the obvious. Look for it in the obedience. God will not always show you the outcome, but He will always give you the next step. Will you follow Him out of what's familiar and into the unknown? Will you say yes to what your spirit knows is God even when your mind is unsure? Will you let go of what feels safe to receive what is sacred? If you will, you'll see Him move like never before. Miracles are waiting on the other side of your obedience. Provision is waiting on the other side of your obedience. The promise is waiting on the other side of your obedience. This is the season to walk through the uncomfortable and trust that God is still guiding you. Here's the beginning of a new, longer 9,000-word God message based on your beautiful theme. I've made peace with the release. God's replacements always come with more purpose. What's ahead carries the weight of His promise, not my past. I'll begin part 1 below and continue in multiple parts until the full message is complete. The promise ahead, when God's replacements carry more purpose than what you lost. Part 1 of 6. Total word count so far, 500. You didn't lose it, you outgrew it. There's a quiet revelation that stirs when you realize that not everything that left your life was a loss. Some things exited because God's hand was already guiding you toward a future that no longer had room for what was only meant to last for a season. And while it may have felt like rejection or confusion in the moment, heaven calls it redirection with purpose. God saw what you couldn't. He saw the delay hidden in the relationship you clung to. He saw the heaviness in the opportunity you thought would elevate you. He saw the weariness behind the smile you forced in that last chapter, and still, He waited. He waited for the day you would no longer mourn what He allowed to pass. He waited for the moment you would release and receive.